Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. This is going to be a very exciting video because the patch preview just dropped and I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know about the upcoming patch Stargazer, the June 11th global MapleStory official summer giant patch. There's a lot that we learned from this patch preview and other things that also got released today, and we're going to go over all of it. I'm going to tell you everything that we know so far, tell you everything that's up in the air still and what we don't know. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, come to the live stream, join the Discord, all that stuff. It helps me out so much. Share the video so everybody is on the same page here. Of course, if you have anything to add or have any comments, definitely leave a comment down below. And with that all being said, let's get right into it. So first of all, shout out Mr. Pop. Go film that video, bro. I need a TLDR. I got you. So first of all, the new event is called Stargazer. This is the official name for the summer event, and it just got announced. I'm going to try to leave a link to all of these sources that I'm going to be showing on this video in the description below. So the first thing that we need to talk about is the new character Sia Astelle, the Guardian, arrives on June 11th as a brand new playable class to global MapleStory. Now I'm actually going to have a follow-up video after this one with all the news in regards to Sia, because there's a lot of stuff about her that also came out, like specifically about her and Erda Link and all that stuff, and we're going to talk about it in the next video after this one, because this video I want to talk about the other stuff that's coming in the patch, like Challenger's World and whatnot. So speaking of Challenger World, what exactly is Challenger World? Now, this is actually something that is a very big deal. This is something that honestly I didn't expect us to get, but we actually are getting it. So if you read it, it says Challenger World is a limited time world that gives powerful bonuses to your stats and huge boost to XP earned. With challenges to complete, bosses to slay, and more. Afterward, you can world leap to interactive or heroic worlds. So what does that mean? What does world leap to interactive or heroic worlds? I'll show you. So when you're on the login screen, there's going to be a new world over here at the bottom that's going to say Challenger World. There might be multiple of them. It doesn't really matter. It's going to be a new world called Challenger World. And it's just like all the other worlds, right? Like you could create characters, play with your friends, all that type of stuff. But the difference between Challenger World and all the other worlds is you can transfer the characters you make on Challenger World to any of the other servers, including the heroic servers. So it's not just interactive, it's all the servers. Now, why is this such a big deal? This is such a big deal because the rewards that you get from Challenger World are huge. You can get a ton of rewards to accelerate your account to a ridiculous degree. Now, this is really good for new players or returning players to the game, because you can start your new main, start your account on Challenger World and blow through the entire early game way faster. Even if you're somebody who's not early game, if you're somebody who's late game, mid game, end game, you could still benefit a lot from Challenger World, because you can have like a super strong mule or Legion champion or something like that utilizing Challenger World. So let's talk about some of the rewards and some of the buffs you get from playing on Challenger World. So the first thing is, when you are on Challenger's World, you will get all of these buffs: 1.5 times experience, 50 attack and magic attack, 30 damage to normal monsters, 30 damage to boss monsters, 30 defense ignore, so IED, 30 crit rate, 30 crit damage, 30% buff, 100% stance, 50 all stat, 2500 HP MP. Now, these are passive stats that are on your Challenger World characters only. Now, the reason why this is important is because there's no Legion or Lynx on Challenger World. You can only create 5 characters, right? So there's no Legion, there's no Lynx, but you get a bunch of giant passive stats that make it so that you can actually do more damage and actually be able to, like, you know, kill stuff without having to suffer forever. I believe this 1.5 times XP is multiplicative as well, so it's like a really huge XP buff on top of everything else as well. Another thing is Challenger World, it's like another world, so you can still get, you know, 2x coupons and stuff like that, run Monster Park and do all these things and do all these dailies, so you can get resources to help you train as well. It's not just like this blank world that has nothing. It's like a regular world. It says you can create up to 5 characters here. Following systems are not available: Link skills, Legion artifact, monster collection, character slot expansion, and name auction, obviously. So here's the big discussion with Challenger's World. Challenger World so far has only existed in the Korean server and the MapleStory C server. Both of those servers don't don't have heroic or they don't have reboot. So what people are wondering is, how is this going to work with our server? Because the heroic world, like reboot worlds, they have a meso passive, they have a final damage passive that helps balance out the worlds. Whereas in other worlds like interactive, they could just buy meso from the meso market, they could trade and stuff like that. And that's what they were able to do in their challenger world, where they were able to buy mesos, and that's what helped them progress. So I'm assuming for us, there's going to be a challenger world that's dedicated for heroic, and there's going to be a challenger world that's dedicated for interactive. I really hope that's the case, because if not, it's going to be kind of hard to progress without a meso market, or maybe there is going to be a meso market. Like, I'm not sure. Maybe you can't transfer the mesos to Kronos or Hyperion or something like that. There still needs to be a lot more details about this. Keep in mind, this is still a patch preview. This is not the patch notes. So it's just previews. It just tells us what we're going to get, but we don't have all the details yet. Now, another question you might ask is, can you transfer the character from Challenger World to whatever world you want right away? Now, that's something we don't have a 100% answer to. In Korea, they were able to transfer it pretty early. Like, you didn't have to wait until the end of the event to transfer it. And on Maple C, they're able to transfer it right away. So it's probably going to be somewhat early into the event that we can transfer it. It's most likely not going to be until the end of the event. That's when we transfer the character. Now, let's talk about some of the rewards you get for Challenger World and what this Challenger World UI is. So something that's very, very important to know about Challenger World is if you do your Hyperburn max, yes, your Hyperburn, if you do it within the Challenger World, you get bonus resources. So for example, the left side over here is if you were to Hyperburn on a regular server, on any random server, but the right side here is what the rewards are if you burn on the Challenger World specifically. So typically, if you get a Hyperburn on a normal world, they're going to give you level 7 symbols. But if you do it on the Challenger World, you get level 10 symbols. Normally you get 500 nodes. Challenger server, you get 1,000 nodes, 25 XP, 50 XP nodes, 600 arcane symbols, 1,000 arcane symbols. You even get a level 5 Cernium symbol the moment you hit 260. So I would highly, highly advise most of you to do your Hyperburn maxes on the Challenger World, because you get way more rewards if you do it that way. And you get all of this stuff too. Now, another question that this caused was, what about all of the resources that I've been saving right now so I could get my character to 260 when Hyperburn Max comes out? Because if you remember a previous video of mine, I showed that if you save like 16,000 XP vouchers, magnificent growth potions, you're able to get 260 right away, right? So people are asking, like, now what? Like, I have to make the character on the Challenger World so I get all these resources. Is it better to do that? I think it actually is better to do that, unless you're already super established, meaning you already have like a fuck ton of nodes. You don't need to boss on the character right away because you already have a really high income, so that you could just like passively accumulate arcane force and other resources on your character that's already created. I would say it's probably not worth doing it on the Challenger World because it's just unnecessary. But I'd say for the vast majority of players, you should probably just use the resources that you've been saving to try and level up your main, get level 3 link skills, level your legion a little bit more, maybe level boss heroes a little bit more, and just use the Challenger World to create your Hyperburning max. So this is the Challenger's World UI. Basically how this works is there are different tiering ranks that you can get in your Challenger World. So basically these are the ranks: bronze, silver, gold, emerald, diamond, and challenger. And you want to try and rank up while you are in the Challenger's World, because if you rank up, you get a lot of very good rewards: 100 soul urda, 3 soul urda, 200 fragments, 5 soul urda. And then the really, really good rewards are when you get emerald and diamond. You get 10 ultimate union growth potions, and when you hit diamond, you get another 10 ultimate union growth potions. So ultimate legion growth potions are these ones. I like to call them the fat ass potions, but basically they're like these really, they look fat, like the fat growth potion. Basically what these do is it gets you from level 1 to 200 instantly. So you can get up to 20 of these potions by getting to the diamond rank in the Challenger World. And these 20 potions, you can't use them in the Challenger World. You use them on whatever world you play on. So basically this can potentially give you 4k Legion right away with 0 effort. You just have to create the character and it's instantly level 200 in 1 second. So this is massive for new players who want to get ahead on their Legion, get their link skills over with right away. And I've been saying this for a long time, like if they could just make a way that gives you Legion links very, very fast, this game would be so much more accessible to a lot of people. Even if you're somebody who has like maybe 6k Legion already or something like that, you could still benefit and try to get to 8k Legion. But if you're somebody who has like over 8.5, 9k Legion, you probably probably don't benefit that much from these potions, so it's not that big of a deal. But for a lot of people, this is a really big deal. So the next question is, how do you get these points, right? How do you get these points? So you get these points by doing a bunch of different missions. Some of the missions include 1,000 mobs 5 times a week, pretty easy. Some of them are hit certain level goals, 260, 265, 270, 275, 280. And then the third missions are boss solo missions. So you get points for soloing bosses at different difficulties. Let's say you solo hard lotus and you never do normal lotus. That means you get the points for normal lotus and hard lotus. So whatever the hardest difficulty of a boss you do, you get all the points for the difficulties below it as well. And it has to be solo. You could do it in practice mode as well, and it'll count for the achievement, for the mission. So you can see that different bosses and stuff give you a lot of different points, and they give you coins. So not only do you get points to increase your tier, you get coins so you can buy stuff from the Challenger World shop that can help you get stronger as well. What's really cool is they have this calculator as well that can show you what you need to do to get whatever rank that you're trying to get. So if my rank is 30,000, right, that's diamond, I can input what I'm doing and it'll tell me when I would hit diamond. So if I'm doing the missions every single week, let's say I hit level 275 and I could solo up to hard lotus and do all these bosses on like normal difficulty, I would be able to hit diamond and I would be able to get all of the rewards, right? Obviously, I'll leave a link to this calculator down below, but what you're going to find with this calculator is most people, I think, are only going to be able to get to emerald. So emerald is 20,000 points, right? Let's say you do the daily 5 times a week, right? You manage to hit level 265 and you could do up to hard lotus solo. You'll almost get to emerald. Let's say you could do hard Damien, then you'll get to emerald. So if you could do up to like H Lomian and hit 265 within the like 3 or 4 months of Challenger World, you'll be able to hit emerald. But if you want to hit diamond or even challenger, you're gonna have to play in the Challenger World a lot because you're gonna have to be able to do like C10 solo essentially. So let's talk about what you could get from the Challenger shop, because if you remember, killing those bosses doing the daily also gives you coins. It doesn't just give you points for the tier up, it also gives you coins. So you could get a ton of black flames, you could get cubes, potential scrolls, limit of 30, so that's how you can get your potentials, 17 star scrolls as well. So it's like some decent stuff to help you progress. But that's basically how Challenger World works. Again, there are some details that we don't know yet. We don't know how long the world's going to be here. We don't know how it's going to work, if there's going to be the heroic passive or how Meso acquisition is going to work or anything like that. Obviously, I will have follow-up videos when the patch notes drop, so we know exactly how everything works. I'm going to be creating my hyperburn on the Challenger World, so pull up to the live stream so you can see how I do it and you don't get confused or anything like that. So it's very exciting. Hyperburning max, so this is something that we already know about. This is also going to be happening on June 11th. So instead of the regular hyperburn where you level up, you get 2 additional levels, now you get 4 additional levels. And of course, with Hyperburning Max, there is the Hyperburning Max level up rewards. We talked about it a bit earlier with the Challenger World. If you create it on the Challenger World, you get a lot of extra resources. Instead of the typical like level 7 symbol, you'll get a level 10 symbol instead. So this is a really good way of jump starting your character to level 260 at least. Next up is the Morning Star Banquet. So this is the event map that is going to be for the summer patch. This is where it's going to have like the daily check-in and the rewards that you can get. It looks like this, where you're going to have to kill mobs 5 times a week. You're going to be able to get 3x coupons. You're going to be able to get boss stats and all this type of stuff, right? Like typical standard MapleStory event where you kill 1,000 mobs 5 times a week, check in, and you are able to incrementally get stuff every single week. So there's a lot of really good stuff in here. Soul Urda, mag pots, event rings, a ton of nodes, advanced XP vouchers, symbols, and these gold things are what are known as sauna tickets. And these sauna tickets, they allow you to enter a map where you could AFK there and get a lot of XP. They even have gold tomato punch kings, which gives you a ton of XP as well. 30 XP nodes, that's a lot. So that's what this part of the event is. Now, this is a big one. They announced more changes for a better Maple. So this is like a ton of quality of life stuff. So let's go by one by one. So skill sequence. So basically what skill sequence is it allows you to put every single one of your buffs, not every buff, but most of your buffs into a skill sequence. You just press one key and they all activate instantly. And instead of having to press like 10 different buffs at once, they would just all activate instantly. So you're able to burst and DPS much more effectively, do way more damage. Now, obviously, this varies from class to class. Not every single class has a lot of buffs. Like, for example, my main High Idol probably won't benefit from this too much because you don't have that many buffs, right? Whereas a class like Bowmaster, which they're using in this example, has a million buffs, right? You have to just go down the line and pop them all, and you would benefit so much. So this is actually a really big final damage increase, like straight up, for a lot of classes because you don't have to spend time buffing. You just instantly burst and go, so you don't waste your buffs. Next up is Soul Urta Conversion. So Soul Urta Conversion is actually a criminally underrated OP thing that is being added to this game. So basically what this lets you do is, let's say you have a character like my Hydo, for example, where you have a ton of extra Soul Urta and a ton of extra frags. Frags, whatever, right? But the Soul Urta, what am I supposed to do with this? I have 20 out of 20, can't do anything. I already have max Hexa, right? You are able to convert these, 30% of them, into energy that you can transfer. So this is really huge for unlocking skills on side characters like boss mules or whatever. For example, like when you have a mule like my Night Lord or my Fire Poison, for example, they don't really farm that much, but if I want to unlock their skills, instead of having to use Event Soul Urta or waiting for Event Soul Urta or doing the daily, I could just convert the Soul Urta I get from my main into energy and send it over to them, and then they can unlock their stuff right away. The other thing that's very powerful with this is you can use one Soul Urta and turn it into a Hexa booster. So a Hexa booster is exactly like a VIP booster. VIP boosters are the items that you get that increase the amount of mobs that are in your map. Those like red fire blob looking mobs, you know what I'm talking about? These things, you see how it spawns like these red fire mobs? That's what a VIP booster is. So what this is going to allow you to do is you can turn your Soul Urta essentially into a VIP booster, and there's no limit. The only limit is how much energy you have. So you could use 20 boosters in a row and get a ton of XP. And this goes back to what I always talk about, not to sidetrack a little too much here, but everybody always says reduce the XP curve, reduce the XP curve. The thing is, they don't directly reduce the XP curve that often. Like the actual numbers, they don't generally reduce them that often. They usually just add more ways of getting XP. So those who are educated, those who are aware of all of the ways to get XP, their XP rates increase a lot. So it's kind of like a skill gap in that way because you know how to get XP from all these different resources. But this isn't about the XP curve. This is about these updates. So Arcane River quest improvements as well. So they're making it so that the storyline and the quests are not as long. The pre-quests aren't as long. Skipping the pre-quest is way shorter. Arcane symbols from special content. So what this lets you do is instead of getting 45 arcane symbols every week, you get 120 arcane symbols every week, which is actually very significant. That's a lot more. This one is huge. A lot of people are talking about this. Skill revamps for all jobs. Get ready for major changes to all jobs. And they even have a picture of Hydo here, like they're baiting me or something. Now, most people think that this is the upcoming 2-minute changes where they equalize every class and turn them into 2-minute classes. Most people think that it's that we're getting that much earlier than expected, and it makes sense. It says major changes to all jobs. I don't know what that could possibly be because that's the only thing that's upcoming from the Korean version for all jobs, unless there's some sort of custom class rebalance that GMS cooked up, but I mean, I doubt that. World map teleport, so this isn't that big of a deal, honestly. Basically, there's like a portal in every single town that you can use to teleport to wherever you want. Kind of like how in the 6-path crossway, there's like that portal that takes you to Pantheon. UI improvements, so this just makes the game look cleaner. This isn't the same as the full-blown UI improvement that we're getting much later. That makes like the long-end screen look different. That makes like the star forcing screen look different or anything like that. It's not that. It's just like slight UI revamps. Genesis weapon liberation improvement. So this is a huge one. This is making the Genesis weapon liberation quest much shorter. I'm gonna have a whole video dedicated to this when it comes out, but this is the gist of it. Basically, how the Genesis weapon quest line works now is instead of having to kill Black Mage every single month to proceed on every single quest, you're going to have to fill up this meter. And whenever you fill up this meter and you kill the boss, you're able to proceed to the next quest. And how do you fill up this meter? You fill up this meter by just killing weekly bosses. So if you kill stuff like Chaos Gloom, Hard Dark now, you could fill up this meter a lot faster. And what that ends up making it is your liberation could be up to 11 weeks long total. Like it's way shorter than what it is now. Improved Monster Park. So Improved Monster Park is another very, very good one. You have to do Monster Park Extreme only once a week now, and you could do it on 2 characters. So this makes leveling up a side character way, way, way easier. You could even trade Monster Park Extreme. You could carry 3 of your friends on their side characters, and then they could carry you on your side character. And that way you can level up way, way, way faster on your side characters too. It also makes it so that you could get the medal much faster, which is nice. Now, here's the thing that's also very, very important about this. More changes for a better Maple. There's a lot of stuff that wasn't mentioned here that I think will also come out on June 11th. So don't doom and gloom and think like, oh my god, they didn't announce Legion Champion here. Oh my god, they didn't announce Destiny Weapon or anything. I think it's also going to come out in the summer. Maybe not in the first patch, maybe the second patch. And we just have to wait for that. Whenever you guys see a patch preview, just always know it's not the patch notes. The patch notes are where you get every single detail about everything, right? Patch preview is just some highlights that they think that are going to build hype, basically. So for example, they don't mention that there is the epic dungeon improvements where you can do High Mountain on one character and Angler Company on another character, but that's probably going to come out with this as well. This is also pretty big. So they announced that 6-job mastery nodes, number 3 and number 4, will be on the 2nd patch of this update. So this is going to be in July. So everybody was expecting M3, M4. You probably heard that a million times to be on June 11th. Basically, these are big power upgrades for the 6-job for every single class. It's going to be in July. So we're going to have to wait a little bit longer for that. MapleStory X Dave the Diver. So this is a collaboration event with Dave the Diver, and it has really, really good rewards. Apparently, the minigames are really fun too, but let's look at some of the rewards. So Dave the Diver, you can get a lot of growth rewards. So 5,000 XP vouchers, almost 10,000 advanced XP vouchers. These things are really good. They basically give you 2 levels in your 260s. They're very, very strong. Extreme growth potions, good for Legion. VIP boosters, limit of 300. So this is huge for XP. Typhoon potion and maximum growth potions. These are huge for levels as well. And then a ton of cosmetics. Some of the cosmetics look really, really good. For example, there's like this like sniper rifle or something cosmetic that you can get from this, or like these chairs. Like these chairs look pretty good too, low key. And then Ride or Die Part 2. So if you don't know what Ride or Die is, essentially it was a custom event that was the highlight of last winter event where you killed MapleStory bosses, but they had extra effects to them that made them harder. And it gave you actually some pretty good rewards, like a lot of Soul Urta, a lot of flames, a lot of XP nodes, stuff like that, and crafting materials. And of course, Hit the Road. The continuation of it will start on June 11th. But that's basically the patch preview. There's a lot to talk about. Look forward to many, many videos about this patch. Every single detail, the patch notes, live streaming all the time. Pull up, join my community. I promise you it'll make you way better at the game, understand things better, and have a very good time. Of course, if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Everything related to Sia is going to be in a separate video, the next video after this one. So keep that in mind. I do appreciate you guys for watching so much. And with that all being said, have a wonderful day. Shout out to my members: Blazefire, Shooms, Shagad, Ravi Espa, Koga, Skittles, Dante Victory, CK, Jay, Kyle, Vampiric X, Fresh and Juicy, Assassin, Henzo, Henrique, and Kelvin. I appreciate you guys so much. And thank you everybody who submitted fan art. You can always submit it in the Discord and it'll be put at the end of every video. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.